Hello, Mars D school community. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone's safe and healthy, and I hope your families are well. I wanted to put together this video for a few minutes, just reviewing a source that I've used a lot as a teacher, TED Ed. It's a pretty cool website. Some of you may already be familiar with it, others may not be. But I think during this time of distance and virtual learning, this was a good tool to use to increase literacy across all curriculum and disciplines. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to the website ed.ted.com and you would create your own um, profile. Now I have a profile here, which we'll get into a little bit more. But once you create a profile, you'll be able to you can explore this, and there's a lot to explore and learn about. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you how to create a video and share it with your classes. So you're going to go to Discover, and then once you get to Discover, you're going to hit Lessons. All right. Now, for the sake of this video, now they give you a slew of lessons. There's literally like thousands of lessons here with all types of topics that you can choose from. I'm just going to go back to the first one. I'm going to use the Sigmund Freud. So once you click on a lesson, and let me show you another cool thing too, so that you're familiar with it. You don't have to only select what's here. You can, narrow down your choice. Let's say I wanted to look at art. Uh, so I could use that search term art, and then there will be various videos and lessons based on art. So I'm going to go back. And you can see here, there's 450, it looks like 56 art videos and lessons. But I'm going to go back and I'm just going to choose again the history versus Sigmund Freud, Todd Fries. So here is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the different components. So the first thing that you would want to do as an educator is preview the video. So you would watch the video. They're usually between 5 and 10 minutes. They're usually not that long. Once the student watches it, you go to what's called the think section. So the think section gives you some questions that first they start off as some of the recall questions, but as you see once they go through, they move up from the multiple choice to now open ended. Okay, here you have open ended questions. And then once students type in their open-ended responses, they would have to save their answer. All right. There's also which is cool, a dig deeper section, which again, as an educator, you would want to read through this and find out if there are any cool things you would want students to further research based on, based on the topic. And this is like if you wanted to maybe turn this into a research paper or maybe an essay. Maybe you wanted one of your projects or your weekly assessments to actually be an essay. You could use this piece here to give students some resources that they could use to write an essay based on a topic that you discover or that you create. The next part is discuss. Now here, there's sometimes they have discussion questions that are already preloaded. If not, and if you want to do a discussion or have your class discuss, you can type the title of your discussion question here. Okay. All right. And then here you would type in an explanation and then you would open up the discussion. All right. And then students would be able to log in, which I'll show you their end, and then they would be able to create, answers to the discussion. Okay. So that's it. That's what students would do. That's what they would do on their end. What I suggest is that once you choose videos, you preview and go through the entire piece, which we're going to do right now. So I'm going to go back to that original lesson here. Okay. I showed you how you can go through each of these sections. Now, let's say some of the thought questions you don't like. If you go to customize this lesson, here you can actually edit this lesson. Okay. And you can take things out. You just make sure you hit save, or you can add things. You can edit the multiple choice. Okay. And the cool thing is that they have it all set up where if a student does answer incorrectly, they'll get feedback and they'll be able to go back to the actual time and space where in the video where the question was revealed. Okay. So you have the ability to go in here and edit any of this information, which is pretty cool. But if you're happy with it, you keep it the same. Usually, I like the questions that they have set up, but sometimes I want to change them around depending on the level of my class. I may want to change some things. So you do have that ability. All right. Now, there is a more section here that you can fool around with deleting lessons, adjusting settings, and summary and things. Um, Now, I'm going to go back just to say, okay, let's pretend now that you viewed this lesson, you were happy with it, and you wanted to assign it now to your class, right? So you would go back to this customize this lesson. Once you hit customize this lesson, rather than going in and editing, you're going to hit publish. Once you hit publish, it's going to take you to this, and it's going to tell you that your lesson has successfully been published. All right. Visit your activity page at any time to edit or share your lesson. Okay. Now, this is a very important piece here. How do you want students to access your lesson? We don't want to require students to create a TED Ed account, only because there may be some privacy settings that students do not agree to. So what we want to do is go down to don't require students to use TED Ed accounts. In this case, they'll be able to create a simple nickname, which should be like maybe their first name and then the period of your course. Uh, and you would give them that information. So you would let them know that they're going to use only their first name, and then they're going to use English 1, English 2, or English period 1, so that where the response is coming from. And then you hit share lesson. Once you hit share lesson, you can share it in many ways. Obviously, we're not going to use these social media to share. What I always do is copy the clipboard, copy the lesson here on the clipboard, and this allows me to post it into Google Classroom. So this can be one of my activities for the week that I post in Google Classroom. Now I copied it, so I'm going to X out of here. I don't need to hit send because we didn't do it of email. If you wanted to put your students' emails addresses in here, you could do that. I'd rather just do the class link, copy the class link, and then share it in my Google Classroom. So now we're going to pretend that my students have their login. I mean, well, not their logins, but we're on Google Classroom. I sent it to Google Classroom, and now my students got the link. Here's what a student's going to do. I'm just going to go into an incognito window. I'm going to paste that link in. And this is where the students are going to land here. The first thing they're going to want to do is watch the video. Notice you do not have to sign in to do this. It will tell the student up here that you, the teacher, created the lesson that they're doing. Okay. After they watch, students are going to go here. Now, once they go to the think questions, when they go to answer this first question, look what it's going to do. It's going to say, oh, your name and response will be shared. You have to enter your name. So I'm going to enter my name. I'm going to be Jay, and I'm going to say I'm in period 1 English. All right. So I'm going to now hit save. Now I am registered as Jay in my period 1 English. So now when I go to answer questions, oh, cool. It takes my questions. All right. And you have to hit save my answer. Make sure the students hit that. I'm going to go to the next question. I got it right. Okay. Save my answer. Wow. I got both of them right. So now we're just going to skim through here. It would, then you get to the open-ended questions. They will type in yes or whatever their response is, save their answer. They make sure they know to save their answer. And then they will go save my answer for the last one. All done. Okay. Next section, again, takes them to that dig deeper. You may have assignments for this. You may not. If there's a discussion item, the discussion item will appear here. Okay. If there is no discussion item, then they will not answer any discussion. So now the student finished, right? So now we're going to go back to your page. See, I'm back here, and I'm at my lessons and all of my activity, right? This is my activity page. Here, I'm able to review student work. So when I review student work, look what I'm able to see as a teacher. Now it will tell me J period one English, J completed 2 out of the 5. This is multiple choice, correct first attempt 2 times. It also lets you know, if they were correct on the first attempt or not. And then their open-ended responses here. You can download the student responses here. Okay. And here you can see student responses. So if you click there, now you can see the actual responses. So here's when you can actually see, I only typed in yes, but you would see their open-ended responses here. Okay. Um, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back here. Okay. And let me see how's it going to get me back here. I want to get back to my lesson creator. I don't know why it wouldn't just let me backtrack here. Why won't it let me do that? Okay, now create my own lesson. Watch here. I don't want to do that. Oh, okay. It makes you click through each of it. Okay, I see. So you're gonna have to just keep continuing to click back to get back to your home page, your landing page here. And then this is, you know, you can get back to your dashboard. So I think that that's a cool way to use the TEDx. Feel free to use it as a resource. Just make sure again you find something obviously that relates to your course and content. You can always edit in terms of making the questions more difficult or maybe a little less difficult based on the levels of your class. And also you may just want to do all open-ended. Maybe you don't want, you know, you can do that as well, where students are just doing short responses to the video. The other thing is to remember is students do not need to create an account for this. You know, you should encourage students. They don't want to create an account. They just use that nickname option. And finally, the account for you is free. So hopefully, you know, you find this useful and take care. And I'll see you all hopefully soon.